welcome Mickey Morandini to the VCAT. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Philly Stats and Video Cats. Today we had a little sit-down interview with former Philly second baseman Mickey Morandini. Now, guys, before we get into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. So this was a great interview I did today with former Philly second baseman Mickey Morandini. It just was such an honor to sit down and talk with him. I mean, he's just a really good guy. You know, went through his career and his thoughts on current baseball and how he thinks things are going with the current Phillies team. So hope you all enjoy the interview, and here it is. Well, today I'm very proud to announce I'm going to be having a former Philly second baseman Mickey Morandini join us today. So Mickey, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me so we could talk.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to start right off with it. I just want to ask you a little bit about your pre professional baseball career and how that went prior to you entering professional baseball. And I understand that you actually participated in 1988 Summer Olympics. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I went to Indiana University and played 4 years of college baseball there. And when you go to college, you're obviously one of the better high school athletes, and then you go to college to play baseball, and you're really not sure how you're going to fit in or how you rank with other athletes around the country. And I got to IU and played very well, got off to a really hot start and had really good 4 years there. Now, after my junior year, I got drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I had a real big decision to make at that time because I was a huge Pirates fan because I grew up in Pittsburgh. But I had a chance to possibly play in the 88 Olympics. So I had to make the choice. Did I want to start my professional career with the team I grew up watching, or do I go back to college for my senior year and take a gamble at the Olympics? And, the Olympics is a once in a lifetime deal, and I didn't want to pass it up. So I passed up the Pirates, didn't sign with them, went back to college, and got a tryout to the Olympics after my senior year. And the Phillies drafted me, and they were kind enough to let me prolong my college career per se. And I didn't start professionally, so I could try out for the Olympics. So 50 guys went to Millington, Tennessee to try out. And I was fortunate enough to be one of the 20 that made the team, and just a super experience. Got to travel the United States and play in a lot of minor league ballparks. And then we went to Italy for a couple of weeks, Japan for a couple of weeks, played games. And then finally the Olympics were in Seoul, Korea that year. They were a little late as far as Summer Olympics were concerned. I think we ended up playing in late September, but we played well there and won a gold medal. So it was worth not signing with the Pirates and playing for that Olympic gold medal. And just an honor to play for your country.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, that's a big decision you got to make. Your hometown team like that, or re-enter drafted next year. And I just want to, if you want to touch a little bit on your personal life, do you want to talk about, your wife and kids?
Yeah, I have 3 boys, all older now, which makes me really old. But 2 of them live in Indianapolis, and they're working. And my youngest is a sophomore at UCLA. So we were obviously tuned into the game the other night. What a great game it was. A tough way to lose, that's for sure. But they played their hearts out, put in a really good effort. So he's a sophomore out there having some fun and studying, biology, and wants to do something with brain surgery. So obviously very proud of him as well. So, me and my wife have been married for 30 years, going strong. And, I do the to-do list every day to keep her happy. And, we're doing good. Everybody's good. This COVID thing kind of, put dampers on a lot of things, but we were able to see each other a lot during those days of COVID. And so everything's good.
That's great. I'm happy to hear. And one thing I want to ask you about, and I think this is like one of the biggest plays in Phillies history, and you were part of on September 20th, 1992, you turned a unassisted triple play against your hometown team, the Pirates. Do you want to talk a little about that? I mean, that was just an amazing play.
Yeah, I always tell fans, don't ever not go to a game that you have tickets to, because you never know what you're going to see. Yeah. And, it was just one of those plays against a really good Pirates team. It was back in the days of Bonds, Bonilla, Drabek, Ben Slyke, the guys when the Pirates were really good. And it was in Pittsburgh where I grew up. So I was playing in front of a lot of family and friends. And, we're in the 6th inning. Kurt Schilling's on the mound. We're in a tie ball game, and they have runners at first and second, no outs. And Leland sends the runner on a full count. And Jeff King hits a bullet up the middle that I dived for catch. I took probably 3 or 4 steps to second. Right. And when I got to second, Barry Bonds was standing right there. He was on first base and just tagged him. And the whole play lasted really probably 3 or 4 seconds. And I didn't know at the time the importance of it really, but I found out after the game that I was the first second baseman to do it in the regular season and the 9th overall to turn unassisted triple play. So something I'm very proud of. And, they have the base and my uniform and some things in the Hall of Fame that they put out every once in a while. So it was a great play. There's only been 15 of them. So obviously it's one of the rarest feats in baseball. And I'm glad I was able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that was awesome. Yeah, and another thing I want to touch on a little bit here is, we all one of the best years in Phillies history. Unfortunately, didn't end the way that we all wanted, but the '93 pennant and just being able to be a part of that '93 team, and that was just incredible to witness. After the '92 season, you come back and you win the NL pennant. How was that like to be on that team? Kruk and all those guys, and what was the chemistry like during that year?
Yeah, it was awesome. And obviously winning develops good chemistry. You never hear about teams that lose a lot and say, oh, we got great chemistry on this team. But, 92, as you said, we were horrible. We stunk. We came in last place. And it really didn't look like we were going to be good for a number of years. And then we go out and sign a handful of really good players, the Danny Jacksons, the Inkies, the Eisenreichs, Milt Thompson, those types of players, good veteran players. Get off to the hot start. The fans start coming out. We're getting 45, 50,000 strong at Vet Stadium and just played very well. We had a group of guys that knew how to play the game. We played the game the right way, played hard. We had a bunch of guys that have career years, and it was just one of those years where everything fell in place. We put everything together, and like you said, the chemistry was great. We all got along really well and pulled for each other, and just came up a little bit short, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was really just that was just really a shame. And just another thing I want to talk about is your 1995 season. You were able to represent the Phils, one of 5 players to go to the All-Star game that year, and that was your first All-Star game. How was that like to represent the Phils and go to the All-Star game? I'm sure that was a really big accomplishment for you.
It was. When you make the big leagues, obviously you want to stay for as long as you can. But it's awesome to be on an All-Star team. It's awesome to play in a World Series. I got to do both. Just a great experience. When you're in the same locker room with the Bonds and Biggio and Bagwell and all these superstar players, and you look down, the locker room, and they're just sitting at their lockers, and you're in there with them. It's a great experience. I had a lot of fun. The guys were great. It was in Texas that year, and it was like 120 degrees in the sun. I mean, it was really hot, but it was a blast. Had fun, and in that game, actually, we only had 3 hits for the National League, and they were all solo home runs, and we ended up winning 3-2. So it was a great ball game. Yep.
That's awesome. And, a bit of a change for you. And, at the end of the 1997 season, you're traded to Chicago Cubs. How did that feel to, lead the Phillies after playing there since 1990? How did that feel to, finally leave them and go off the Windy City of Chicago?
Well, I was disappointed and happy at the same time. Now, I was disappointed because I wasn't a big goals guy, because I thought that puts a lot of added pressure on you as a player when you're trying to reach goals. So I just tried to go out and play as hard as I could and let the numbers speak for themselves. But one of the things I wanted to accomplish was I was only about a couple hundred games away from being the all-time games played at second base. So I felt that was a good accomplishment for me. And then I got traded, and I knew I couldn't do that. But I got traded to the Cubs, and I was living in just south of Chicago at the time. So it was a good fit for me because I could live at home and drive to the ballpark and back, and loved playing at Wrigley Field. So it was kind of bittersweet. But, in 98 with the Cubs, we went to the playoffs. It was the year Sosa and McGuire had the home run battle, and it was just a lot of fun. And I had a career year that year. I had a career highs in like 6 different categories. So it was a lot of fun that year in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm really sure it was. And after the 1999 season, you elect free agency. I believe that was your first time in your career you elected free agency, correct?
Yes, because I would have been a free agent, but when the Phillies traded me, I had just signed a 2-year deal, so I elected to sign the contract and not go to free agent. So yeah, it was my first time being a free agent. Yep.
Yeah, and then you went on to sign with the Montreal Expos, and what was your short stint like there?
Yeah, I went to spring training with the Expos that year, and I was in a battle for second base with a player by the name of Jose Vidro, very good ball player. But the plan was for me to play second, and they were going to move him to third base. I don't know why the plans changed, but they ended up keeping Vidro at second, so they made me expendable. So got traded back to the Phillies, and I was really excited because I'm like, all right, now I can reach my goal again of playing games played. I only need like I said, a couple hundred more.
Oh, yeah.
So I played in about, I don't know, 70, 80 games, maybe something like that. And then I got traded again to Toronto. So got a little bit closer, didn't quite get there. But I was going from a bad team to a playoff possible team in Toronto. And I got to play for my old skipper, Jim Fregosi, up there. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. And Toronto's a great city. Clean, right on the water. I was very impressed with the city, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you were able to, end your career like that, and that was like your only time in the American League, and after that, you ended up being the Phillies' first base coach from 2016 to 2017. What was that like to return to the field and have that opportunity?
Yeah, that was great because I got back into baseball. I took some time off and let my kids grow up and coach them and travel ball and all that fun stuff, and then I got to the point where they were getting a little bit older and wanted to get back in the game. So I coached in the minors for 5 years with the Phillies. And then when I had the opportunity, Pete McCannon was the manager with the Phillies. They needed a first base coach, and I interviewed for that and got the job. So it was fun, but our team wasn't very good in 16 and 17. I mean, we just didn't have a lot of talent at the time because we were rebuilding, had gone through a lot of trades and had a lot of young players in the big league. So it was great coaching. It just wasn't a lot of fun losing all the time, but I had a good time. And then, when they brought Gabe in, he wanted his own staff. So we all went our separate ways there, but I got a great job with the Phillies as team ambassador. And I've been doing that for almost 4 years now and love it and get to meet a lot of great people. So I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and that kind of brings me to our, our next topic of discussion. I just want to talk a little bit about how much the game has changed since you left. Of course, you retired after the 2000 season. How much has it changed? Flipping the bats and people throwing at you and stuff like that. How much of the game has changed since you've retired?
Yeah, it's completely different. I mean, you can't take guys out at second anymore. There's no home plate collisions with the catcher. It's really tough to pitch inside and throw at batters now. There's no big brawls. There's no manager arguments because of review.
Yeah, right.
And then the game on the field has changed. You have review plays. You have the shifts. You have where the relief pitcher has to face a minimum of 3 batters. I mean, there's all kind of different changes in the game. And I'm an old school guy. I'm the guy that likes to bunt, hit and run, see triples, doubles, stolen bases, things like that. I think those are exciting plays, and you just don't see that much of it anymore. So for me, the game's a little bit more boring today because it's a lot of walks, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of home runs. But, as long as the fans are enjoying it and that's the biggest thing, and I think the fans still enjoy the game.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And another thing I want to ask you is, a big controversy. I mean, how do you feel about flipping the bat? Do you think that that's appropriate, or do you think that's inappropriate?
I don't like it. I don't think there's a need for that. Now, sometimes I don't mind it on a game-winning home run where the game's over. You're excited, flip the bat. I think that's okay, but in the middle of the game, I don't think there's a need for it. I don't know if fans like it. I don't. And I know a lot of old school players don't. Now, there's nothing wrong with showing emotion. I just don't think you need to show the other team up. We always say, act like you've done it before. And a lot of times these players don't act like they've done it before.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And another question I want to ask is, the rules have changed a little bit with the runner on second base and extra innings. That's really just fundamentally changing the rules of the game. I'm kind of indifferent about it. I mean, it adds more excitement to the game, but it's just changing the fundamental rules of the game. So how do you feel about the runner on second base and extra innings?
Well, once again, I'm an old school guy. I like playing normal extra inning games, but I do like a little bit of the strategy in it because the visiting team really has to decide: do they go for the one run with move the runner over, or do they play for the big inning? And if they don't score, then the home team has a huge advantage scoring that run. But I just like the old way of baseball. I don't know why we have to make all the rules changes. I think fans liked it when games went 18, 19 innings.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I understand why they do it. They want to save the pitching staff, the bullpens. They don't want to have to bring position players, in to pitch, and I get it. So, I think a lot of I know Joe Girardi has come out and said he loves the rules. So I think you're going to get with any rule or any new thing in baseball, you're going to get a lot of people that like it and a lot of people that don't.
Right, I totally agree with you. And 7 inning doubleheaders and also a new thing. I'm sure as a player, it's definitely easier on the player, and especially with the bullpen, things like that. Do you think that the 7 inning doubleheaders are more beneficial for a team?
Well, they're beneficial, no question. You're saving your pitchers 4 innings for sure. I'm still, once again, a 9-inning guy. There's no reason why a professional baseball player can't go out and play 2 9-inning games. But once again, I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to, cut back on injuries. These players obviously are making a lot of money, and injuries are not good for the ball game, the game, the fans. So I get why they're doing it. Just, and they're trying to, speed up the game per se. They don't want to play the 3-hour and 50-minute games like a lot of them are. So I get it why they do it. I really do. I get all the things they're trying to do. I just don't know in the long run if they're going to be good for the game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I wanted to ask a little bit about, the current Phillies team. I mean, 3-0. I mean, they sweep out the Braves, started the season 3-0. And I remember back in 2019, they did the same thing. So we're excited about it, but you also have to keep things in perspective. But how do you see the Phillies doing this year? I mean, I think they've done a much better job in the bullpen. I mean, I understand it's only 3 games, but, how do you see them shaping out this year?
Yeah. I mean, they're going to be competitive, no question about it. I think health is the biggest key. They got to keep Nolan Wheeler healthy. Realmuto and Harper healthy, those types of players. Didi, they got to keep healthy because they really don't have a shortstop that can fill in for him. But they're going to be competitive, and it's a tough division. It's probably the toughest in baseball. The Braves, even though they got swept, are going to be really good. The Mets are going to be good. Washington, whenever they get through their COVID issues over there, are going to be really good. The Marlins are an upcoming team. So we got our hands cut out for us. We're gonna have to play some good baseball, but there's been the first 3 games, a lot of bright spots. Pitching was tremendous, starting and relievers. When you hold that lineup to, I think it was 4 or 5 runs in the whole series, you're doing a heck of a job. So I do think we're going to score a lot of runs. We didn't hit the ball very well with men in scoring position this past series, but we're going to score some runs. So for me, it's going to boil down to the back end of the rotation. And if this bullpen can pitch like it did over the first series.
Yeah, I agree. And based off what you said, where do you see the Phils finishing this division? I actually predicted a 86 and 76 record. I understand predictions don't really mean anything, but I see them finishing around 3rd place. How about you?
It's hard to say. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they're going to be around 90 wins if they stay healthy, and I think they got a chance to win the division. All the teams are good, like I said, but health is going to be the key for all the teams. And if there's big injuries within the division, then that's going to change where people end up in the standings. But we definitely got a chance to make the playoffs. I really believe that.
Yeah, and just one little thing I want to ask you before we wrap it up here. I mean, Larry Bowa, a guy I'm sure you know very, very well. Made a big remark. He said that he could see Harper finishing with 50-plus home runs. Do you agree with that statement? Do you think that that's a possibility?
It's always a possibility, especially at CBP, because it is a hitter's park. 50's a lot. 50's a lot. He won't be able to go through any long stretches where he doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but if he's capable of it, absolutely. And I'd like to see him over 40 for sure. I think he's that type of player, driving in a lot of runs. I don't think his average is a big deal because he's going to walk a lot. His on-base percentage is going to be good. I just want to see him be that guy that drives in a lot of runs, a big run producer, and he can, he had obviously an MVP year 5 or 6 years ago, and he can do it, and he can do it in this ballpark. 50's pushing it, I think, a little bit, but I think he can get the 40 if he has a good, solid year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mickey, I just really want to take the time to thank you so much for coming on again. I really enjoyed this talk.
Sure, I appreciate it. Anytime.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed the interview with Mickey. I mean, he's just, as I said before, a really good guy, and, he's able to take the time out of his day to, sit down and talk with me, and I thank him once again. So guys, thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please hit the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media, link in the description section, at Philly Stats Instagram, TikTok, Finance Instagram, card text 267-225-3392, email me, phillystats@gmail.com. Guys, thanks for watching. 7-5, the first pitch against the New York Mets tonight, and Matt Moore going against Jacob deGrom. I am Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Let's go Phillies. I'll see you.